Hi everyone, this is Leslie, and today I'm going to show you how to make these double-sided heart-shaped units. This is pretty much the smallest size you can make. And this is a good size for earrings, or you could use them as charms, or whatever you want to. Anyway, I'll show you how to make them, and then you can decide what you would like to do. Okay, let's talk about materials. I've got two different colors of delicas here that I'm using, number 11 delicas, and I'm going to do this in two colors to show you the contrast, where the increases are. I've got a number 10 beading needle, and I've got a couple of arm's lengths of, today I'm using Miyuki beading thread. I would recommend that you use thread instead of a monofilament. The monofilament can be very stiff and you need a little flexibility because we're going to be doing some very specific increases and decreases on this heart. So any kind of thread you have, Nyma or whatever. The first thing you're going to do is make a ring of 48 beads. And I'll be right back when I have that done. Okay, so I have my circle of 48 beads in one color. Now, we're going to do 10 rows. This is going to be a 10-row heart, kind of like the star that I did previously. We're going to do rows 1 through 6, and the row 1 is going to be the row on the very inside, and row 6 is going to be the row on the very outside. And then we'll fill in 4 rows. We'll turn it over and fill in 4 rows on the other side. That's the way to think about it. So the first thing we're going to do is do 6 regular peyote stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's the side here. Now, we're going to do 3 increases in a row, 2 beads over 1. And I'm going to do these in red so you can see, so you can follow along. So 2 over 1, go through the next bead. That's 1 increase. I'm going to do that again. 2 over 1. And one more time. And that's going to make that beautiful curve of the heart. You need that many increases to make that curve. So that's what we have so far. Then we're going to do 2 more peyote stitches. One, 2. It's going to look like that. And now we've come down to the center here. So we're going to do a decrease. We're going to skip 2 beads and go into the very next bead. And you're going to give that a tug, and that's going to be those 2 beads right down there in the center. Later you can go back and hang something from them if you want to. But for right now, just do that. Now we're going to mirror this on the other side. So peyote 2, 1, 2, see, it's already squeezing together. Now we need to do those 3 increases again. Pick up 2, skip 1. It's like a regular peyote stitch, instead you put 2 instead of 1 in. 2, And 2 more. Once you get the hang of this, you can definitely do it all in one color. I'm just doing this to show you here. And now we need to do our other side. So we're going to peyote 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we are at the bottom tip of the heart. See that? We're right down here. So we're going to do an increase down here too. So you're going to pick up 2, but here you're going to go through the very next bead and step up at the same time. It's going to look kind of funny. Going right in there and stepping up for the next row. Give that a tug, and that's going to make everything kind of fall in place. So that's how it's going to look. You've got 3 rows. Okay? So we're doing row 4. And basically for row 4, we're going to be peyoting around in a kind of a regular way. And we're going to be treating those increases as one unit, those 2 beads. I tried this a few different ways with different increases, and this just seems to be the best way. I've got a little stack of sort of failed hearts on my work table, but I wanted, you know, you have to make a really nice smooth curve. So here we are, we're going to peyote and we're going to go right through those 2 increased beads. We're going to treat them as one unit. Same again here. And the next one. There it is. Now we're going to peyote 2 again. And we're going to continue this decrease cycle. So you're going to go down here, don't put any bead in the middle, and then up through the next one. That's going to be decreasing every time. We'll do a decrease there. And pull that. That's going to make those beads kind of push down into the center of the heart. Now continue around this the rest of the way, and I will meet you back at the tip to finish this row. Okay, here we are back down at the tip again. Again, I'm going to do that same increase at the bottom corner of the heart. So I'm going to put in 2, going through the very next bead, and then this is the last one in this row, and I'm going to step up. There. So that's the end of row 4. Okay, so row 5, we're going to start the same way. Keep going around. Peyote stitch. Four, 5. Now we've come to those increases again. This time we're going to lay in 3 beads over those 2 beads. So pick up 3. I'm going to do some red so you can see. Pick up 3 red, skip over those 2, and go in the next. We're going to do that 3 times. Skip over 2, go in the next bead. Pick up 3, skip over 2, go over the next bead. Now here you can see we're going to peyote 1, and then go right up into that next bead on the other side. So we just keep squeezing these top beads together, like that. Now continue around this side, just like the other side. And I'll meet you back up at the bottom. Do 3 over 2 and go back down to the bottom. Okay, here we are back down at the bottom. We're going to do that same increase. Pick up 2 directly in the next bead. Now the end of the row keeps moving over, 1 stitch every time. So you'll have to peyote 2 and then step up. 1 and 2. Okay, that's the end of row 5. You now have 5 rows laid in. And this last row will be the outside row, the very outside row, and the row we will later use to zip to the second side. So I'm going to peyote around in the regular way, and we're going to treat those increases of 3 as 1 unit. The same way we treated the increase of 2 as 1 unit. So peyote 1, go through those 3 beads. Again, through the 3. Just 1. Through the 3. So it's going to look like that. Peyote 1, and then again stitch those beads together in the middle, just like that. That decrease squeezes them together, and do the same on this side, and I'll meet you at the end of the row again. Okay, I'm back down at the bottom. Because this is the last row, we're just going to put 1 bead at the tip instead of 2. So through the very next bead, that'll make just a little point at the bottom. You could even put 3 and it'll make a little more pointed at that tip. And now we have to peyote 3. And you don't have to step up because we're going to go back down to the center. So that's 6 rows. Pretty nice looking heart. Now, what you need to do is take your thread down to the middle, just like that, to the inside. So what we're going to do is do 4 rows mirroring the rows on the first side. So the first row will mirror row 2. Now, row 2 was put in when we made our original circle, so we didn't actually stitch a row 2. But basically, it's you're peyoting all the way around. 1 space, 1 bead per space. All of these ones. You're mirroring that row 2 on the other side. When you get to the center of the heart, you're going to go through those 2 beads, just like you did on the first side. There. Now if you want to hang something in the middle, now's your chance. A bead, go ahead and put it in and go through the other bead. And if not, just keep going. You're going through those 2 center beads. Keep going. The only place you're going to lay in 2 beads here is at the bottom tip, and I'll show you that in a minute. Keep doing peyote stitch. I really like this little heart. I think it's really sweet. I have visited hearts before and been kind of unhappy with the result. So I played around with different increases and decreases. And this is a pleasing solution to this. At the end of the video, I'm going to talk to you about how to make it a bit bigger. This is kind of the smallest unit you can make. All right, we're getting down to the bottom corner, or the bottom tip. So you're going to come out there, pick up 2 to mirror the other side, and go in. So those 2 will sit at the bottom over the others. And I have a few more to do before I step up. I was just looking for the step up. I didn't see it either, but it's right there. 1, 2, and step up. Right there. Okay, go through 2. All right, those 2 are sitting at the bottom, okay? There we go. Okay, so for row 2 of the second side, we're going to be mirroring row 3 on the first side. And that's where we did our increases with the red beads. Just making sure that's sitting okay. Okay. So we're going to peyote here till we get to that increase. And again, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to add 2 beads. Go through the next bead. 2 red beads, go through the next bead. 2 red beads, go through. This is mirroring row 3. Okay, so then we're going to peyote 2. And just like in row 3, which was the first row that we put in, you're going to skip over those 2 center beads. You're going to skip over and you're going to go from here straight over to here. It's going to look kind of funny. Don't worry about it. Make sure your thread is on the right side of this, on the correct side. Over here. Okay, it's going to kind of look funny. But if you make another couple of peyotes, stitches, you'll pull it tight and you'll see how it's going to cinch in. It doesn't have to be all the way cinched in. You won't see that later. See, I'm pulling it, but those beads are kind of coming together in the middle. And that will become more pronounced in the subsequent rows. So again, we're mirroring the other side. Come up there, you. 2, 2, 2. And go ahead and continue around. Lay in 2 at the tip over these 2. And I'll meet you at the end of the row. Okay, I'm coming to the end of row 2 on the second side. I put my 2 beads in down here, and I'm stepping up over here on the side. Got a little tangle. That's kind of an unusual thing with KO thread. There we go. Now we're going to start row 3 of the second side. Again, we're going to peyote around and treat those 2 increase red beads as one unit. So go through both of them. It's going to be a little awkward, but your tension shouldn't be too tight, and that's one of the reasons I use a thread rather than monofilament in this case. Peyote 2, 1, 2, and again, we're going to go all the way over to the bead on the other side. We're doing a decrease there. Don't put a bead in between. And squeeze that. It's mirroring the other side. treat those as one unit. So there it is, cinched in the center. Continue around. Peyote one through the 2, and continue. Put two beads in the bottom tip, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. Okay, we have one more row to do, and it's the mirror. We're doing row 4 on the second side, which is the mirror of row 5 on the first side. So again, oh, I just need to finish this row, step up. So in row 5 on the other side we put in 3 beads. So let's do that. Over the 2 bead increase that we did previously. Do that 3 times. 3. 3. We're going to peyote 1, and again decrease as we have every row in the center, like that. Go through the 2, squeeze them together. Again on the other side. Pick up 3 over the 2. Looks like I've got a different bead in there. Let's take that out really quick. Sometimes that happens. Don't you hate that? You get different colored bead mixed in with your work. Let's see. Try that again. Happens to me too. 3. And your last increase here. 3. Okay. Peyote around one more time. Putting 2 beads again at the tip increase, and I'll meet you at the end of the row for zipping them together. Okay, now we're done with adding beads, and it's time to start zipping up the sides. So again, we're going to be treating those 3 increase units as one, and one from the other side. Go through the 3, one from row 6 on the first side. When you come to the center, you're going to be decreasing one more time here as you're zipping, like this, and just keep going around. And when you're done with the top, the sides are pretty straightforward. Just doing a regular zip. And when you get to the bottom, oh look, my thread is, there we go. And when you get to the bottom, you'll just zip that. The last thing I want to talk to you about is making this one size bigger. There it is, you're finished. I also made a little bit bigger heart to kind of match these ones. You can kind of see how much bigger it is. So what I did with that, I did the first side of one to show you. So what I did with that was I did a ring of 60 beads. So instead of 48 beads, a ring of 60. Peyote 7. Do the same increase, but have a plain peyote between each increase. So that spaces out the curve a little bit. But everything else is exactly the same, except I did 7 instead of 6, and I did an extra peyote between, actually just between these two increases. This is the same. But everything else is the same increase with 2, and then 3 over 2. And so that's how you make it 1 unit bigger. And if you want to even make it bigger than that, you could play around with the number of peyotes between the 3 increases. You need these 3 increases to make this nice curve. And if you want to do it for more than 10 rows to make it wider, I'm still working on that. That might be another video if there's any interest in that. It looks like there's a couple of different ways you can do it. But other than that, we're all done. Let me know how it goes and how things look. And thank you so much for watching.